My name is Ansh Kapadia and I am part of the ExplainMe team. Today, I will introduce the ExplainMe project, explain the audio preprocessing pipeline, and show how to use the software. The system takes raw patient audio as input and converts it into acoustic features such as pitch, jitter, etc. Importantly, we do not use the actual spoken content, only the vocal characteristics. These features are passed into an explainable machine learning model. And then this is important because many existing speech-based prediction systems already use vocal characteristics, but they often behave like black boxes. This makes it difficult for clinicians to evaluate whether the model's output is clinically meaningful. The main novelty of ExplainMe is that it combines prediction with interpretation. Along with the predicted change in state from the model, we have an XAI toolbox which highlights which focal features contributed to the prediction and how significant those differences were. This gives clinicians additional context, allowing them to assess whether the model's prediction is consistent with their clinical understanding. And we also have an interactive dashboard where these explanations and other insights into the data are shown to clinicians in an interpretable manner such that they can understand what the model is giving as an answer. So next I will show you about the software. In this short demo, I'll show you how to set up the ExplainMe repository and run the pre-processing pipeline on an example dataset. So I'm starting here on the GitHub repository for ExplainMe, and it contains the source code, example scripts, and setup instructions for the project. The main setup instructions are in this markdown file. Here you can see all the instructions. So for starters, you need some prerequisites such as Git, Python installed, and Poetry, which is a Python project manager. You can read more about Poetry and also how to install it on this installation guide. I will also add this link in the description of the video. So the first step is to clone the repository. So we copy this command, then we go to VS Code, we paste this command and we run it. So the repository is cloned now. Repository clone, you can see that all the files have come here and the subcomponents of the project are in the source, and in the preprocess it has its own readme which has some of the instructions and the output and the input format, etc. So we can go through this later. First I'll show you how to install the environment. So we need to do Poetry install. This will basically create the environment and install any of the dependencies that are required for the project. Since I've already done this before, there are no dependencies to install or update. Next, we have to work with the dataset. So today I'll illustrate the EmoDB dataset, which is available to download for free from Kaggle, and I'll have the link to download in the description, and I'll just download it and come back to you. So as you can see, I have downloaded the data in emodb_data. I have only selected some of the WAV files since I only need some to illustrate. I don't need the entire dataset. And first we have to create the metadata until we do any further steps. So for creating the metadata, the command is, this is the command basically, where in example /preprocess/create metadata emodb, and you have to give the data folder which is path to emodb. So here it is just emodb_data, and we run this. So we can see that the metadata.csv is created successfully, and you can check it over here as well. The three columns that are necessary for the next steps are file ID, file path, and label. Any extra columns that are there will just be ignored by the pre-processing, but these are what's necessary. So if you're working with any different data set as well, just make sure to have these. Okay, so next we have to give the command for running the preprocessing, which is this poetry run python example slash preprocess slash run preprocess.py. So it is quite self-explanatory, and again we have to give the data folder, of course. There are some additional parameters which you can also give. You can read more about them in the preprocess readme, or you can look at the code. So once we run this, it will extract the features from each of the files, and it will also build some plots to give an idea of how the features vary across classes. So you can see in features you have the extraction log, the features.csv, and we also have some plots. For example, a correlation heat map, some histograms highlighting how features vary across classes, etc. And that's basically it. That's how you run the ExplainMe processing pipeline. Thank you.